Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna have a look at the Diamine Asa Blue. I got this ink in the standard small 30mm Diamine plastic bottle. It's not the most practical bottle because of the narrow opening, but I usually refill my cartridges with a syringe, so that's fine for me. Let's have a look at the swatch first. It's a standard medium blue that reminds me of maybe some gel pens, but it's currently one of my favorite blues. It has absolutely no flow issues and I really like the tone. It can sheen a little bit, but the sheening is really not guaranteed. You need a very good paper and a very wet pen in order to get some sheen out of it. Regarding some comparisons, here is it next to Diamine Last, which is a Cult Pens exclusive. It's a little bit more turquoise, and here is it next to the Lamy Turquoise, Diamine Aqua Blue, and here is a dusky blue from Inkvent, early dusk, and then blue blacks are much darker. Here it is on Rhodia paper. Extra fine nib is from a Pilot Kekuno. Fine, medium, broad 1.1 are all from a Lamy Safari. And this blue lettering on top is done with a brush. Even in very wet areas, the ink does not sheen on this Rhodia 80 GSM paper. Extra fine is a much lighter tone than all the other ones. It also doesn't show any shading. And then on the other nibs, the ink can show a little bit of shading. And in practice, I think there is generally a little bit of shading, but it's not a crazy good shading ink. Dry time is about 30 seconds with a medium nib on this Rhodia paper, and the ink has almost no water resistance, but I believe that in most cases you would still be able to make out the writing underneath. On the back side of Rhodia we see just a tiny little bit of bleed through with the brush, otherwise absolutely no issues. Next, let's have a look at the copy paper. Absolutely no shading on copy paper, but there is also very minimal feathering. The only time where it really feathered was in this very heavy application with a Sailor Hokoro with a Fude nib. On the back side, we see a lot of bleed through over that wet A, and then maybe just a couple of spots of bleeding through, but the other side of even copy paper is perfectly usable with this ink. Tone-wise, it's quite similar between the two papers. Next, we have a Midori paper. We see a color shift on the Midori paper, and we also get a tiny bit of sheen in very wet areas, like on the outlines of S in Asa. On the other side, there is no show through, no bleed through, as you would expect from the Midori paper. On Hobonichi notebook, we see a little bit of that tone shift similar to the one on Midori, because this is cream paper. Tiny bit of sheen on the outlines of S again. The shading here is probably the most pronounced out of all the papers. For example, here on the title Asa Blue, and on the back side we see like a little bit of show through because how thin the paper is, and there is tiny bit of bleed through on the S, but otherwise the back side is fully usable. So overall, this is an extremely well behaved ink that's usable even on copy paper. Chromatography, not super interesting. We get quite nice blue tones on top and a purple line on the bottom. That purple is really hard to get when you are using this ink for fountain penning art. This is all painted with Asa Blue. As you can see on the sky here, I did not get any of that purple anywhere. I also tried to experiment with this ink and I couldn't get the purple no matter what I tried. So overall, I really like this ink. It flows without any issues. It writes on any paper without any issues. It's a bit boring. It's just a standard medium blue, but it's quite well saturated. I really like the tone, and it's not too hard to clean out of the pen, especially for being such a nicely saturated. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!